Hey friends, Sarah here, just a little earlier, see if we can catch you online here for a little live action. Today, we're gonna talk about the Millers' move to Nashville. And so I'm still just getting used to this whole live business. What's up, Christy here again? Good to see you, sis. I just want to acknowledge that I'm sure there's just a ton of questions. In fact, I have a bazillion that I'm gonna try and get through here because it's so much fun. Hi Nora, hi Lindsay. I just wanted to say that it's been an absolute pleasure just to see God's hand in all of this. And it's a God story for sure, but it's not just a nudge really. It's a bigger story than that. And so I'm really excited to share it with you. And I would love it if you engaged during this time. What's up? And so, yeah, I'm just gonna start to dive in as we get more people here. Give you some time. I was gonna do a little ditty with you just to like get my nerves better. And, you know, it's just a little bit different. I practically do a live video every single day since, you know, I'm just cutting one time every single time on YouTube. And so, and now IGTV, which is great too. Another way to get out there. So now that you're here, hi Shayna, I love the love. I love the love. So everyone, I just want to start by, you know, there's been a couple guesses as to why we came out here. And I'll tell you the truth, like none of this even started. What's up, Jeff? None of this even started like 5 months ago, okay? So less than 5 months ago was this even an idea. I wouldn't even justify it as a seedling of an idea to move from family and friends to a place that we don't know anyone. And so it's been, thanks, I'll try, Jeffrey. A little nervous. Like I said, I wanted to bust a move just to like get my pits aired out and all that. So we moved though, and it's because I've always had this adventurer inside of me, and some of you have heard the story, and I'm sure some of you can relate with what's up, Amanda? Hi, lovely. So I just have this urge to pick up and go sometimes, not leave the people I love, not anything like that, but certainly a shift to change of scenery, change of direction, all of it. And truthfully, like I was saying, we were completely fine in Michigan. In fact, we were happy. We were incredibly satisfied with where we were, where David worked, our church family. We loved everyone there. We loved being involved there. Little shout out for Northridge Church in Plymouth there in Michigan. We had a lot of family and friends really close. I mean, David never lived anywhere but Michigan. I lived for a little while in Colorado. So like both of us, like everything we know is pretty much in Michigan. And so some of the guesses we've gotten were, so was it because of a job thing? Obviously, that's the first question that comes to mind, right? It's a job thing, I'm sure. Well, it wasn't. In fact, that was the very last thing that we were able to nail down. And so that was a trip, but so much fun for me, not for Dave. He was a little bit more worried than I was. So I'm one of those people who has always had a funny faith, even before I believed in Jesus and in God and that relationship opportunity. I always knew in my heart of hearts that everything would be okay. Even in my deepest, darkest times, I always knew that somehow I would get through it. So I just wanted to say that, hi Fabio. I just want to say that it wasn't because of the job, though that was certainly a faith exercise, is not having a job, because less than 5 months ago, it was basically my husband and I being on a date, okay? So I'll tell you a little backstory. We were just on a date. It was late March. It might have even been early April. We were out having dinner, and I was so excited to get my, hey Catherine, hi Jamie. Hey Jamie, you're getting married today. Woo! Congratulations. So I just wanted to say that because I just heard, so I'm super excited for you. Anyway, so it wasn't a job, and it was, hey Nicole, it wasn't ministry, which was also another guess, although I would say because of this whole faith exercise, it it kind of is a ministry situation because you get to share your testimony. You get to share your story with people. That's what it's all about because it's a relationship, okay? It's not religion, it's a relationship. And when you have a story to tell and you have something that's completely undeniable happening in your life, right? When you're not able to really explain it, it's undeniable what happens. It's a super fun story. It's a super fun story. And so that's what we've been experiencing. Literally, my friend Carrie, she's come up with this term that I never thought necessarily that I'd experience for myself, was that we were completely romanced by God in this whole transition, like completely romanced. Like that's the only way I could put it, because I'll be honest, that night, on our date night, it was cold, really cold, and it was practically April. I'm pretty sure it was the 31st of March or the first week of April, and it was snow on the ground, and Dave and I look at each other, we're like, why do we live here? We ask ourselves this question though. I mean, I'm sure you Michiganders, you feel me, right? Why do we live here? I know some friends of mine had moved years back, to the Carolinas or to Arizona or whatever, and I felt like kind of envious in a way. I think it was that adventurer in me, but never did I think in my wildest dreams that we would ever move from Michigan. Why would we, okay? So it wasn't ministry, it wasn't a job, it was the weather that started all of this, truthfully. Because every winter we ask the same question, why do we live here? We'd always answer because family's here. Family's really close by, and what a gift that our cousins get to grow up together, and all of that. Our babies get to grow up with their cousins. Well, it turned into this like, well, why not? Suddenly we asked ourselves, why not? Because our youngest was gonna go into full-time school, so we thought, now's a good time. Now's a good time as any other time, because if we don't do it now, we'll never do it. And isn't that the truth? Isn't that the truth, that we get so stuck into just the way life is, okay? And I understand not all of us have any choice, okay? It is a job that keeps us where we are. I understand that. And we were willing to take a risk because we wanted an adventure for our family. And so, I will start like attacking these questions because I literally have like close to 30 of them. I don't know that I'll get through all of them, but what I will say is the whole motivation, because I'd love to start out with that, is that not only did we want warmer weather, and I do love the seasons, so I love that Tennessee still has the seasons of, fall, winter, spring, summer, and the summers are pretty thick here. They are pretty thick, and that's understandable, right? We're in the South. And somebody did ask a fun question, how's the humidity treating my hair? Well, you can see what it's doing to my hair, but you should see David's. It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. So basically what I wanted to say is that our motivation is really about creating a close-knit family relationship. Like, I'm not saying that we were disconnected necessarily, but my husband was traveling a lot and he was ready for a new chapter to be written regardless. Like, wherever we were, he was ready for something new. He was ready for a change. And while it was just kind of a flippant question, like, why do we live here? Well, why don't we stay in Nashville when we go in 3 weeks on our anniversary trip? And I was half kidding, but he's like, okay, let's look into that. Crazy, right? So half of the time we're in Nashville 3 weeks from that point. So I think late April, third week of April, we're looking at houses. Like, this was part of our itinerary. It's craziness. So it basically validated our pie in the sky dream, okay, of moving somewhere south, somewhere warm. And we loved the people. We fell in love with the people so fast. It was raining half the time. And yet we still had so much fun. The people were just so fun, so kind, so considerate and helpful and all of those things. So it was really neat. It was really neat to be a part of that and really imagine ourselves in this area. And so it's been fun. Our motivation, though, was to be focused on our family. And so what better way to do that than remove ourselves from the distractions? Because it's not easy to remove our distractions all the time, is it? It's not easy to remove the distractions from our life. But if we can move our family, doesn't sound a whole lot easier, but we just move our family from the distractions. We're forced, aren't we? We're forced to be together and only together. And that can be sweet time, but it can also be not so sweet. And there has been those times, don't get me wrong. It has been beautiful and it's been a lot of fun. It's been one adventure after another. The people have been very welcoming and open arms. Our neighborhood's incredible. The fact that there's sidewalks here, just, it's amazing, okay? And I know there's sidewalks in your neighborhood too, y'all. I know that. See how I just casually used y'all like I've been here for so long? Not even been 2 months yet, guys. But I mean, just the opportunity for tribal community was really what we were excited about. Obviously, you know, we can find tribal community anywhere, right? We can find tribal community anywhere. And if Dave wanted to stop traveling, he was happy with his job. He was completely content there. He was doing really, really good. But he was also doing some traveling, some consulting on the side that took him away from the house. And so to make up the difference from what he was making in his previous job that he didn't like at all, and this one where he was really happy in Michigan. And so we could have found that tribal community in Michigan. That could have happened, but we weren't motivated enough. I think we needed to remove ourselves from the distractions of being really involved at our church, being really involved in relationship. I know that sounds really crazy, but when he was traveling, I had the opportunity to get some me time, okay? Some me time with my girls, some me time by myself, and it was a really blessed opportunity. Like, Dave was very generous with that because I think he kind of felt guilty being gone. Number one, I'm sure he loved being gone too, because we're crazy, okay? We're crazy. So that was all really hard, and he's, you know, he'd been traveling for 3 years, so he was always really generous with me having my time alone, me having time with my girls and getting a break from the kids, especially in the summer months. Man, I'll tell you the truth. One thing, I know that there's a question in here somewhere about like, what's the difference? Like, what do you like about Nashville compared to Michigan? Guys, they start school in August. It's so beautiful. It's so nice. It's so nice to know that my kids are all gonna be hopping on that bus tomorrow morning. I know that sounds terrible, but man, when you need a break, you need a break, right? So, plus I've got so many aspirations, ways of using and spending my time. So, I will say that the transition's been going well. However, there has been bumps in the road. I mean, I certainly, it was a faith fall, right? We just do it. We just do it and see what happens. And I'll tell you the truth, I've loved everything so far, except I have never been one to eliminate conflict or want to eliminate conflict from our lives, because I feel like conflict, it brings things to the surface that maybe wouldn't have been brought to the surface if it weren't for the conflict. And not all of it was, you know, simple, put a Band-Aid on kind of conflict. There's been so much newness here, okay? My 9-year-old, 8-year-old, 6-year-old, and 5-year-old, they are all experiencing this transition the way that they experience this transition, all very different. And it's been really sweet to see how close they have become, because they were always close, but they've also been kind of like each other's security blanket. It's a sweet thing of having your sibs there when no one else is, right? When they don't have any friends just yet, and they're new to the area and they're new to everything around them, right? So it is a sweet thing. It's a sweet thing that they have each other, but it's also, as much as it is sweet, it's also terrible. Terrible. They're each other's best friends and worst enemies, but every mother and father knows that already about your own kids, and so, but it's been sweet, okay? So they've all been struggling a little bit in their own way, but mostly my oldest, she's really been struggling. She wants to blame everything she's feeling on the change. She wants to blame everything that's happening that's not going just as she'd hoped on me picking us up and moving here. Let's just get one thing straight though. I didn't pick us up and move us here. This was a decision that David and myself had made together. I'm sure they're upset that we didn't get any, you know, votes from them, but we as parents know what's best for our kids, and we have nothing but the greatest hope that this experience will not only bring us tighter as a family, which is, I think, anyone's hope in something like this, because we had everything. We had everything going for us. We had friends, we had family close by. David's work was going well. I mean, outside of winter, everything was wonderful in Michigan. There was no reason to leave. My besties were there. They are there. I miss them tremendously. In fact, I would even go so far to say as it was harder for me to tell my friends than it was to tell my family. Because they are my family, okay? And so that was one of the questions too, is how did we tell? How did we tell our family? How did we tell, shout out to the besties, heck yeah, hey girl. That's you, you know it. It wasn't easy, but we did kind of create this excitement around the potential of moving, because I'll tell you the truth, they have wanted to move forever because kids want something new all the time. But when it was presented to them, it suddenly became the worst idea in the world. Of course, Max and Lily and Wes, they were fine. They could care less. I don't think they really cared. Max a little bit more than the littles, but Josie for sure was struggling with the idea of leaving her friends. But she also liked the idea of leaving the cold and moving somewhere new. At first she was like, well, why don't we just find another house in Michigan? And a lot of other people thought the same thing. Why couldn't you just move? Because I'll tell you the truth, it wasn't ministry, no. And it wasn't work, no. It was the winter. I almost feel foolish saying that, but that's the truth. I mean, Dave and I, for the longest time, we've been together for 15 years, almost 16 years together, not married, but we've always been dreaming of the day that we would retire in Florida or somewhere down there where it's warmer, okay? But I didn't necessarily like buy into that completely because, I mean, we would just have a place there because I loved summers in Michigan. Summers in Michigan are the best. And if you've never been there in the summertime, you need to go. It's beautiful, especially in the northern part of it. Not the UP. I mean, I'm sure the UP is beautiful too. Very green, lots of wildlife, but I'm talking particularly my stomping grounds, okay? Charlevoix County, it's just gorgeous. So if you haven't been up there, go up there this summer before it ends. It's gorgeous. So we always talked about a home in Florida, a home in Michigan, and happy, okay? Because winters stink. I'm so over winter. I'm so over it. You know, snow is meant to be traveled to. It's not supposed to come to you and stick around for 6 months. That's not okay. It's not okay. So anyway, I feel like I'm digressing a lot, and that's what happened. So I'm gonna start reading the questions. We told our kids gradually, kind of sprinkled it in, sprinkled it out, you know, that kind of thing. Hey, Kristen. And so I feel like it became a dialogue sooner with the kids than it did with the family, because at this point, okay, I want to say April, when we get back from Nashville from our vacation, we loved it. We're pushing May, okay? We're in May time now. The kids have an idea that we're leaving, but we didn't think about how fast it would go. The only reason why we listed our house when we did is because our neighbors 2 doors down did. And what they listed it for was ridiculous. In fact, I was not expecting that, and I showed David what they were listing it for. I gave him the link to their listing, and he about crapped himself just as much as me. And so we thought, well, why not? Why don't we give that a try? And we sold the house to the first family who saw it, and we accepted their offer 3 days later. So like, an idea became reality, and that was when we told our friends and family, when we listed and sold our house on paper. We felt like, well, even if we don't move to Nashville, we'll be moving somewhere. Our house is sold, so that's where we came about that. And it wasn't easy. It was really difficult. My parents wanted to be happy for us. They said they were happy for us. They were excited for us. My brother, his wife, they said they were happy. They were excited for us. I think Dave's brother probably struggled the most because they saw each other every week, at least once a week. And that's a real sweet relationship between brothers. So they all wanted to be excited for us, but were really sad for themselves. And so, so that was hard, but like, and you want to make it better for them, but you also have to do what's right for your family. You have to, okay? And what's right for our family is that we're unified and we're together. We are, our number one priority after God is each other, for our family, the Miller six pack, okay? And I strongly encourage you to have that same mentality because it's so important. You guys you're a team, okay? And so we had to do something for our family. So we haven't really eased into the friend thing. That was another question that we had, was we haven't really eased into the whole friend thing here because that was never our goal, is to come to a new place and make new friends. We hope that it happens with the right families because, again, the tribal community I was referring to before is something where you have a family linked with several other families, like 4 or 5 other families, okay, kind of your tribe. You've heard that before, your tribe, right? So you have a group of 4 or 5 families they could be in your neighborhood. I mean, ideally, that would be great. They could be at your church. Your kids could be in the same school. Like I want it as small town as you can get in a big city. That's what we want. And that's why it's not been terribly urgent for us to get to that point, is to make a bunch of new friends and get involved at a new church. Like, we're taking it slow. We still haven't even jumped quite in all the way. So we're still, there's still some things that we're trying to work through together as a family. Communicate better. That was another question. How are we communicating? Are we communicating better? Worse? How is this? I feel like, again, conflict has really brought things to surface and we've had to talk through some things. There's so much newness right now, especially for my husband. Okay, so all of our kids are in school. He works from home when he used to travel all the time. Could you even imagine that transition alone, going from traveling to not traveling and working in your house with 4 crazy kids and an intense wife like myself? Could you even imagine that? Well, add to it that you're in a new town, a new city, with a new job, and you're trying to put all these kind of feelers. Because one thing I will say, okay, the differences between Nashville and Detroit. Let me jump to that. Detroit, I love it. There's so much love for Detroit. There's so much love for Detroit. Detroit, you guys they're resurrecting. Detroit is coming back. I'm telling you, they're coming back. One different thing about Detroit is that the people, they have a place to go and they have to get there now. And I love ya. I'm sorry, not sorry. Like, I need to get here. I have this to do. I have this person to see. Like, see you later. Here, everyone's got a story to tell. Everyone's got a hi, how you doing? And so super sweet. In fact, I recorded the truth about Southern charm. It's really funny because there's such thing as Southern charm. People will talk to you forever. A trip to Home Depot will take an hour as opposed to you just picking something up and getting busy on the rooms you want to paint. Okay, that was the very first introduction to what it's gonna be like here. You basically have to plan around people's kindness and conversation. So you have to kind of plan. It's way slower down here, way slower. So Mosey, that's how they do things here. So more fun things. I just want to say, because I don't want this to be an hour long, all I want to say is that there is no denying God is a part of this. There's no denying, because I didn't want to pray to him, listen, this is my dream. This is what I want for our family. This is what Dave and I think is best for us. Will you come on board with this dream? I felt funny asking God about that, okay? So basically what I asked from him is that he would just shut the doors. Just shut the doors. Because if this is silly, I acknowledge that it's silly. There's no reason for us to leave. I acknowledge it. I acknowledge that it's silly, but we do have one life to live, right? There's just one you, so be you. There's one life that you were given, so live it to your fullest. And that's kind of what I kept thinking in my head. Why not? And he didn't just not shut the doors, he flung them wide open, and one thing after another. Of course, selling your house in 3 days, thinking that what you needed to share with your family and friends in order for them to understand, since it wasn't because of a job, why else would you be leaving everything you know, everyone you know, and leave 4 states away? Why would you do that? I don't understand. We needed a God story. And so we were asking, this is what it needs to look like. We weren't telling God this necessarily. Maybe we were hoping he was eavesdropping though. Just saying. Like Dave and I were like, yeah. So what we need to do is we need to get a job. We need to buy a house contingent on selling our own so that we weren't homeless. And that would be ideal. That would be the ideal situation. So when our neighbor listed their house, we didn't anticipate it going this fast. We sold our house and we accepted the offer in 3 days. The first family that saw it put in an offer. We wanted a bidding war, so we left it open. We took hey Angie, we took the offer 3 days later, okay? And then the very next day, a house that just listed 2 hours after became available with already an offer on the table. The house that we live in right now became available, and and they accepted our offer, even though there was already an offer on the table. And I'm pretty sure it was a decent offer. They took our offer, and I know that that was God. And then we obviously bought it sight unseen because we didn't, this wasn't listed when we were here on vacation that time. So, I mean, everything was moving so fast, and it was only after they accepted our offer that 2 or 3 weeks later, Dave, having put some feelers out there, hadn't gotten an offer yet, had several interviews, and everyone seemed to really like him, but he finally got an offer 2 to 3 weeks later. And he was offered, after that point, he was offered 2 or 3 different positions that he had to pray about and see what would be the best fit. But he'd be starting over regardless. So it was kind of major relying on God kind of situation. And so, so it went completely backwards from what we thought would be a good God story for people to understand and people to, completely understand why we would leave. I think a lot of people understood why we wanted to, but never really understood why we'd actually go through with it. So it went backwards. We sold our house, we bought a house, and then a couple weeks later, Dave gets his job. And that's how it happened. And ever since then, the inspection on both houses was clear, appraisal was clear. It can be a nightmare, the whole house thing. It can be a complete nightmare on both sides of it, right? Buying and selling. And it wasn't bad at all. And so just thankful to God that it happened the way that it did, because it's only been 4.5 months, and here we are in our new state, in our new city, and we have enjoyed it so much. Couple questions. Do we like the food? What's our favorite food? My favorite food has always been a burger, a nice juicy burger, and I had the greatest burger at the pharmacy recently. But we do really like the barbecue here. I never was much of a barbecue person, but it's ridiculously good here. They do a lot of smoking, a lot of brisket, a lot of just juiciness. So good. Yes, he does, sis. He sure does. He paves the way. And okay, so favorite food is definitely meat. Always meat. Meat, meat, meat. I know, I'm sorry all you vegetarians and my fellow yogis, but I'm telling you, I'm a carnivore for life. Our favorite restaurant, I'm gonna say for both of us, I mean, Dave's gotten to see and experience a whole lot more restaurants than me, so I'm not gonna answer for him actually, because he's, on the job, he gets to entertain and all of that stuff. So he gets to take people to happy hour, he gets to try these new places, and it's a real sexy life. Yay you, honey, yay you. So not being as sexy as him, I would say my favorite place is Gray's on Main in Franklin, Old Town Franklin. It is so good. They have live music Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and their food is amazing. Their drinks are probably even better than their food. Try the East Side if you like something refreshing. So good. We found a dentist and a doctor right away because I wanted to make sure the kids were taken care of before school started. So we have a dentist already, we have a doctor already, we have, I have my girly doctor. Thanks to you, Nicole, thanks for that. Yes, Gray's is incredible. And then a hairstylist, I have scheduled with someone, but I have not gone yet, so I will have to let you know. Sitters, so those are so important, okay? I know. So I think Dave and I have literally been, we have one tonight too. We have been on so many date nights. I think one week we were on 2, and We have literally had a date night every week, and every single week it's been a different babysitter. Well, almost, because Natalie was the hookup a couple times, and she's amazing. Love you, girl. Yeah, so there's an amazing thing. It's pretty much like the Babysitter's Club. Have you ever read those books? Like, I read them as a kid. It's a real thing here. There's a Babysitter's Club. I'm not kidding. Like, I considered it my ministry in Michigan. I was always like, you need to go out with your husband. Let's make this happen. I'll give you at least 5 sitters. And all of you who know and have experienced this know that I've given many sitters, and I'm the one to ask because sister is getting out of the house. I need my time with my hubs because, you know, it's important that you stay connected with your husband. It's important that your marriage comes before your kids. And so I've got no problem leaving them home with a stranger as long as she can fog a mirror and keeps them alive long enough for us to come home and kiss them goodnight. So I haven't had to source sitters. Like, I have been a part of this babysitter's Facebook page, and if I ask one person and she's not available, she finds me a sitter. It's amazing. Haley, I'm serious. I just want to hug you every single day. Haley, what you're doing matters. I love you. I love you. And so do I'm speaking on behalf of all of the mothers in this area. We love you so much. Thank you for all that you do to get us out of our house to stay decent human beings. So that's how I do that. So I guess, like, I'm not going to be able to answer all of these questions because I feel like there's been a big transition, okay? There's a huge transition. I think that we've faced fears, we've faced rejection, we've faced communication barriers, but we're getting through it all, and we're so hopeful for what this will bring for our family, mostly more unified connectedness. We're looking forward to slowly diving into what's around us as far as a church family goes in the neighborhood, and the things that encompass your lives living in a place. We love Nashville, and yes, I love country music. I wasn't always a fan, but oh my goodness, I'm sorry. If it's live, it's all kinds of fun. And tonight we're seeing Jason Mraz, so we're excited about that. It seems like there's just music all around us, available all the time. You can go from one place to the next place, to the next place, to the next place, and see different music. Some places have 3 bands playing on 3. It's just fun. It's just fun, you guys. And I think that there's a time in your life where if you can, I understand that not all of you can, but if you can, you take a faith fall and you try something new, you do something new as an adventure. Worst case scenario, and this is what we told ourselves too in this whole process, worst case scenario is we go back to Michigan. And I don't even say it would be the worst case scenario. The only reason why it's okay, so it's not worse, it's inconvenient scenario. Is that better? Because it wouldn't be bad to go back there. It wouldn't be bad. It would be great to see our family and friends on a regular basis. But we had to try. We had to try. And you know, God has been faithful. He has shown us things through the hard muck of life, and he has shown us things that make us glow with hope and expectancy in our life here. I don't know. So somebody did ask, is it because of ministry? And I did give that a quick no. But I wonder if maybe there is a little something that he has for us here. I mean, there is no doubt the way that this happened less than 5 months ago, just a pipe dream, and now we're here in our new home. He's got to have something here planned for us, and I'm just super excited to find out what that is. And I don't know, you guys. I hope you'll take the ride with me. My 200th video right now. It's been so fun spending it with you. It's craziness. And if none of you, or if there are some of you who don't know, what does that mean, 200th video? What's that mean? Nickel. I won't, sis. I like it too much. What was I saying? Sorry, this live business is hard for me. Hi, honey, you made it. You made it, Christy. So yeah, what was I saying? Oh, 200th video. So what I was doing, so February 3rd, I started this journey of recording my, what I've learned that day, okay? So every single day since February 3rd, I've been recording videos talking about what I've been encouraged by or challenged by. Guys, I'm a work in progress. I am not preaching at you. I'm telling you the truth. My YouTube channel, 1UBU, you can look me up, Sarah B. Miller. I literally am a student. I am a student who needs to be sharpened every single day. I fail, and you will, it's a theme, a recurring theme that you're gonna see in my channel and on my Instagram, is that I am a work in progress. And all I wanna do is come to you as a sister, hoping to encourage and inspire you in some way, because there is just one you. And I just hope that you will be you, because the world needs you and will be better for it. So thank you for joining me today. Obviously keep it alive in the comments. I'd love to engage with you there. If you have any other questions, of course I have a lot of questions I didn't answer, didn't get around to answering, but I didn't want to absorb your whole Sunday afternoon. So have a wonderful day. God bless you.